Please remain seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Laugh Your Way to the Top. I'm your host, Austin Fain. Joining me today is sales extraordinaire Ryan Trouten. He's one of my best friends, and he has a lot of insight on the sales process. He's been in the game for many moons, and I've learned most of what I know about in this game from him. And so I'm interested to see what he shares with us today, and maybe some tidbits on sales, maybe marketing, things like that. He's really managed companies and done everything from A to Z. So again, if you have any questions, please post. If you see this on YouTube or one of the other platforms, ask us some questions. We feel, more than happy to answer for it. So Ryan Trouten, welcome to Laugh Your Way to the Top.
Thank you. Appreciate
It's
it.
probably episode 3 or something like that. And so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, this is pretty much all I've ever done, as far as career goes. I've ran and operated a lot of companies
Yes,
over
you
that
have.
time. I've started a lot of companies
Started a
over
lot
that
of companies.
time. I just really enjoy what I do. I get to watch things happen.
But so you came from a generation that was different than what and I essentially coddle our salespeople, you and me both, and we kind of make it easier on everyone. We're very employee focused, and I think that's come out in the past couple episodes of like how much we do and things like that. But you came from a do or die sort of hardcore, maybe Kirby-like atmosphere, where it was very cutthroat. Can you talk about the days in the past of like when you first started and it like how you got to here, how you become the best at what you do?
Yeah, I was pretty much just dropped right into it.
Yeah.
When I was training to do this originally, it was with another company out of Ohio. And
A company that most people will know, so we're not going to say the name of it.
correct, yeah. They put you through a sales training.
And how old were you?
Oh, let's see. I was 20. I don't
Were you
think I was
20 then?
21 yet.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say you were young.
Yeah, I was either 20 or 21. Yeah, right in.
And
Well,
what
20.
was yeah, okay. And what was your job there?
I was hired in as a sales rep.
Okay.
Yep. And I went through the whole training process, which was 7 days. And I was supposed to run with a rep on my first Monday out. And that didn't pan out, so they just handed me some leads and said, go.
So you didn't have to go knock doors at that point.
No,
It was
they
a
still
sales
had a
rep thing, so it's
canvassing market.
canvassing,
Yep.
and then so just kind of
And they had call centers.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of phone calls made and stuff like that.
So tell me about your experience, maybe first day out, first week out, why didn't you quit this immediately?
Oh, it was awesome right out of the gate.
Well, I know their management style and your management style is very different.
Yeah. It was actually, I got the taste of the thrill of the hunt immediately. My very first day out by myself, I ended up selling a deal in Indiana.
And their windows, right? It was
all windows.
All windows.
Oh, we
Did
did
do
some
roof?
siding,
Okay. It
but
was mostly
everybody that started there started in as windows. And then once you got better, they gave you siding leads
Okay.
and stuff like that, but no roofing.
and meeting every day. I know that I'm going to fill in a lot for
Yeah.
him, but like I'm going to lead him to the horse to water so I can make him drink. Sales meetings every single day.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Monday through Friday, you had to be there at 8 a.m., shirt and tie.
Shirt and tie.
Shirt and tie. If you were late, you didn't get leads that day. Saturdays was the only day we were allowed to wear polo. But we still had a sales meeting Saturday mornings. As long as our leads weren't too far away that day.
Wow.
Yep.
And then what would you
dude.
talk about during those meetings? Was it like
Every day.
really? Is it rah-rah? Because I know a lot of these companies in our kind of thing, especially in maybe like the solar, they'll do a bunch of rah-rah, like everyone get pumped, let's do some jumping jacks and let's sing karaoke or do something crazy to get the guys pumped up before they go out. How was the general tone like when you had meetings?
When you first came in every morning, you had to have your lead result sheet filled out. So basically what you would do is put everything that you ran the day before and exactly what happened, whether it was a demo, whether it was a sale, no home, one leg, whatever it was. And then you would go in, each rep would go in and meet with the sales manager individually and discuss it. And I think that's how he based on what his sales meeting was going to be about that day, if they all ran into kind of the same similar things, on how to overcome it and things like that.
Were they yell at you, or were they really
My very
nurturing?
first sales meeting, there was a golf club put through the wall, so it was
Wow.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
Nah.
Can't do that anymore.
I mean, I think about it every now and then.
We can think about it, but it's my job to keep you in check and so we don't do the golf clubs thing and stuff. And so you went from this place selling windows door to door, where you had appointments set up to you. You went in there and sold windows, and you were pretty decent at it, I assume.
Yeah, it was 37 days in a row out the gate. I sold every day. Yep. I became the ASM there, which is assistant sales manager, within, I think it was 6 months, 5 to 6 months.
And why'd you leave there? Or what did you do after that?
I actually went to a small mom and pop place here in Indiana.
Same thing, windows only?
Windows, roofing, siding, everything.
Okay.
Yep.
What made you leave that place?
It was just not my style. It was just really laid back. They didn't care if they had leads that day. They didn't care how much they sold every month, as long as the guy that was running the place had enough to pay rent.
Fair enough. So you went to a mom and pop to then start that or grow that?
I actually, interestingly enough, I worked there for a short stay, and then I went to another company, which I was recruited there, and that was too high pressure, I thought. So
What do you mean by high pressure? A lot of the people that we talk, me and you know what high pressure sales is
Sure.
all the time. What do you consider to be high pressure sales?
Oh man, you would whatever it took to get the deal. I mean, you'd make people cry.
Yeah.
Make them feel silly for not doing it.
Yeah, that's not your jam.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. So that's why I was approached again, same company that I left, to buy in. So Jim and I owned that company together for a minute, and then we left. I left there eventually because he got too old anyways and decided to retire and things like that.
And then so that led you to which company?
That's when I started back at the company that I left before here.
We'll call it the Big M. Well,
Yeah,
let's
that's
call
cool.
it the Big
M.
The Big M, for lack of. We don't want to talk bad about anybody or trash the industry too much on their things, but at the end of the day, we know the ins and outs, and that's how me and Ryan met, was through this company, and he actually hired me at that point, and you were pretty much doing everything at that point, and you were what, like early 40s, late 30s at that point that you started there, or
that I started there?
Yeah.
No, I was 30s.
30s.
Yep.
At 30s for that.
Yep, because I was there almost 16 years.
And you were doing things like running the shop. You were managing salespeople. You were managing installers and stuff at the end, all that stuff.
Yep. Do you hear motorcycles?
I got it.
I thought that was some sort of like
they heard your motorcycle
yeah.
enter soul, and they were going to
supposed
play
to be
it.
out there running.
So dumb. But yeah, you were doing pretty much everything when I met you. You were mainly sales manager, but then you were picking up the pieces.
Yeah, I was doing the back end.
Front end, finance, running.
There was really
hard.
nothing I didn't have my hands in.
Right.
There.
And how many people you think were there at that time at this company that we both left?
At all the locations, we probably were pushing 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like that job?
The only thing I really liked about it was I got to travel a lot.
Travel.
Yeah, I was over all the different locations, so I would end up going to all of them.
And then let's pick up where maybe when I got hired in, and we'll talk about that experience.
Okay.
So like I had just gotten fired from the car lot. I talked about this previous episodes, and I went up to go smoke a cigar with a mutual friend.
That's right. Yeah.
And he said, "Why don't you do this job?" And I said, "That sounds super sketchy." And then he's like, "But I can get you in. It's great money. Blah blah blah. You'd be great at it." So, and then I show up at your office at 6, 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was amazingly I was even there.
Right.
I remember I was actually talking to the owner in my office, and you could see out in the parking lot from where my office was. And he goes, "You got a twin brother?" And then walked you.
Yeah. What were your initial thoughts? Like, how did I remember that you said you were full in the beginning, and that you'd already had a training class, and you're not looking. Then what happened?
I don't know. You sat in there. We talked for Man, it seemed like a long time.
We had too much in common.
Yeah, we really did. We hit it off pretty quick.
Welding, car lot, all that stuff.
Yep.
Trucks.
Yep. Weren't you even in that? Oh,
Believe
you
I
were in
met-
the Platinum then.
Either Platinum or Harley Davidson. I can't remember
Yeah.
which one I was at.
No, it was the Platinum. I was thinking it was the day you drove the Shelby though.
Platinum was new back then. Platinum's got 300,000 miles on it now. So
Wow. And we still use it here.
the window guys take it out every day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you hire me.
Yep.
Just trying to get a timeline for the people. You hire me. I think I closed you. Because I was like, no, I don't really want to work here, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, nah, dude, we can get you then. You're like, $700 a week training pay. I was like, nah, I'm good. He's like, $1,000 a week. I'll pay you training pay. You start Monday, blah, blah. And I was like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. It was I don't know. Obviously, there was something there.
Yeah,
Because
we had a
here we
spark.
are.
We had a
Here we are
spark.
still.
It was
you know?
it was as much love as it could be without being gay. And and then we went outside, talked about trucks for a little bit, and then I started on Monday. And you taught me pretty much what I need to know, but it was way less structured in those days than what we currently have.
Way less.
And I remember being like, this is roofing, this is somewhat windows, go out and sell. I remember going like, I had already like surpassed 90% of the class, and it wasn't hard to do in that training class. Most of those recovering,
There was some good ones in
recovering
there.
issues, and then that they were dealing with some demons. And I was like, you're going to give me a lead? And you're like, yeah, you got a lead tonight, 6 o'clock, somewhere, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, you haven't taught me how to do paperwork yet. And that was back in the days we still had paperwork, like actual had to pen and paper that thing. And I have terrible handwriting. And you told me,
Just get there, sell it. I'll walk you through
I'll
it.
walk you through the paper. Call me, I'll walk you through the paperwork. And so I do like a 3-hour demo to these people in the middle of the night. And I almost closed them, or maybe, I don't even know if I did close them. It was just a weird thing. I got them halfway signed up or something weird. And yeah, I was there all night. They fed me everything, and I was just way too nervous. I don't think I closed it though.
I can't remember.
You called them like the next day to try to like salvage it or something. Like, I don't know what happened. Maybe I signed them and they canceled the next morning. I don't remember what exactly happened.
I could have swore you sold that first deal.
It was something weird. It didn't go through. I know that part. I didn't get paid on it.
You
I
didn't get paid.
I didn't get paid, and they never got windows and roofing. It was like the whole kit and boodle that we did. And you know, and then we got some more training underneath the belt, and you were tough sales manager. And then I got my first big deal. It was like $34,000 in Fremont. And you walked me through that, and I actually sold a lead that a previous rep had already been to and didn't close. So then up started our friendship where we make each other money.
Yeah. We've done pretty good at that.
And we're pretty good. And so as time went on, like, we worked at this company, and things just got strained, I guess it would be like the best way to put it.
I knew I had to start making some changes personally.
It got tougher and tougher for me to make money.
Yeah.
And I was driving way more than what it started with. I mean, I can't remember a bad time when in the first 3 months at all. Like, I think I made like 30 grand or something like that, something crazy. And then starts the phone calls where I would get on my phone of, we're going to the news. You guys took our money. You guys aren't going to do the roof. You know, blah, blah, blah. Or we're having issues and you guys won't pick up the phone, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, me being from the professional world, I was getting nervous that maybe I had made a wrong choice. And I started having second thoughts. That coupled with, you know, having leads in South Bend and then driving all the way to Toledo, Ohio as my second lead, 4 hours in between. Dude, it was crazy. And like nobody was home.
At either one.
This crazy stuff. And it just seemed to be getting more and more desperate. And then they were doing some shady stuff behind the scenes that came to fruition there at the end. I know one point we had a buddy put the owner up against the wall and go through his computer to see all the stuff they weren't getting paid on and things like that. You remember that?
No.
Yeah, our big friend.
Yeah.
Our big friend was like, I think he's messing with our commissions and taking too much. And he put him against the wall and went through his computer and found all the ones that he'd been taking a little bit off the top. Like, they were taking,
for finance.
like if there were a finance hit, there was a finance hit on every single job that we ever did, even if there was no bank hit on it.
Right.
Like, so for the people at home, if there's a finance deal, like, and this is pretty much straight across the board with all industries, if you get a special promotional deal, that costs the bank something, unless maybe they're running a deal at that time, or they have absolutely perfect credit. We're talking like 800, 850. If you get like a 60 days or 60 months, same as cash, or really low 1.7, 1.9 interest rate for 20 years or something crazy, like that usually costs some amount off the top. We have to pay the bank to take that deal. Usually we just do a modular rate, anywhere between 4 and 12%, depending on what credit and financing stuff is like, and that's usually free. But anything that's too good, it's usually cost the money, and sometimes it works out.
I honestly think the only thing the banks give away for free would be the 90 days deferred.
90 days deferred is a pretty common one. I mean, we have 5 banks, and they do a really good job for us. I mean, $10 million a year, and we finance probably 80%, I would say. 80% is probably right on. And so instead of that, like, they weren't paying our full commissions on it. We would sell a job, and they would take another cut saying that there was a hit,
right,
and there was really no hit.
And there was even hits on top of the hit.
There might have been hits on top of the hits. It was crafty accounting at best.
Yeah.
But after a while, I just knew that we weren't doing the job that we were selling, and I just didn't feel good anymore about it. Even the money was still great, but like I just didn't feel good about it anymore. And I think I came to you, and I was like, Ryan, I was like, I love you, buddy, but I'm not gonna do it anymore. And you said, get in the truck, and I was like, he's gonna kill me. And then you took me to like Chick-fil-A or Wendy's or something like that through the drive-thru, and you're like, so.
It was Wendy's.
I think it was Wendy's. I think
You
it was
got mad at
Jefferson
me later
Point.
on
Yeah.
that day. Yeah, okay.
You're like, I'm done too. And I'm like, really? And he's like, we got to do something else. I go, yeah, I'll work for you 100%. He goes, I don't know how to do any of the business stuff. And I go, okay. And he goes, can you do the business stuff? I lied and said, yeah. Yeah, totally. And he goes, good, I'll run the marketing and the sales, and you do all the other stuff. And I go, that sounds good. We'll make it work.
I think I even said I had the back end.
You probably even had the back. You had the connections anyway.
Yeah,
you may have not ran the back end, but you definitely had the connections.
That
to
was the
start
most
it up.
amazing part of it. How many people just came.
Yeah, and I want to get into that. Like,
Yeah.
even though it was a bad situation, the typical contractor is what I kind of explained most of the time that we left that company. It was the typical kind of company that contractors get that bad rep for. Right. You know, taking the money, maybe not doing the project how they want to, maybe bait and switch products, maybe not doing the project at all and just run away with the money, those kind of things. That company's no longer around, but we
Right.
still want to, like, obviously tiptoe around that for copyright and trademark issues and things like that, and defamation. But I lied and said I knew what to do. I mean, I'd been in the corporate world through doing different stuff with my dad and things like that, and the different businesses I'd been in, like everything from a teppanyaki chef to welding to, whatever, a chef. Stupid. And
I mean, but you make a phenomenal steak.
I do cook good still,
Yeah.
but it's because I'm fat. So, I led us into that part in the last podcast where I'm like, we got Lake City involved, and we're like, shout out Lake City, and was like, we will just flip the thing on the side.
Do not disturb.
And that's why I thought too. I even did it for you. Maybe I turned it off. I don't know. But and we got like approved for like $250,000, and we're like, cool, let's go. We all quit. Like me and you, one other guy, and then like 4 canvassers and things like that. We took the best people and we left. We didn't know.
One other sales guy was the only one that came.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah, one sales guy.
Because the canvassers didn't come until after we pulled the trigger, didn't they?
We quit. Like,
Right.
we quit. Yeah, there was one salesperson. I forget about that. The girl.
Yeah.
And we just stopped, and everything just walked out one day, and we turned in your truck, and we already had an office and things like that.
My heart stopped that
And
day.
yeah, that was rough.
That was nerve-wracking.
We're idiots because we thought the money would just be like wired to an account, and then like we would just have money to operate on. That takes like 6 to 8 weeks, I explained. And so we had no money. And so that's when I went to my dad and I was like, hey, you want to give us $25,000 for my title? Or I actually asked him for $250,000. He's like, no. And then I was like, how about the title of my truck for 25? I was like, I will take it. I was like, that's good enough. And we started with $25,000 and no financing. We pretty much fibbed and we're like, oh yeah, we got banks that will buy stuff and whatever. And we just blind faith that it would work out. We'd find some money eventually, which we did.
Yep.
And a lady out in Ohio would find us all the banks to finance all of our deals besides our cash deals. And then I talked about Shiloh, Ohio Metal Exteriors,
Right.
and how the only people that would give us credit. Not only did they only want to give us credit, they had something kind of proprietary in the metal roofing market that we now copy today.
Yep.
And we built our machines and everything to make their product, and they've been super helpful. They would give us credit to begin with. And so through all that stuff, we started with $25,000. Now, 6 years later, 6 years next month, 6 years next month,
End of July.
Yeah. $10 million a year. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so,
Because I think they only gave us enough credit to do like two jobs at a time.
2 jobs.
Yeah.
That was it. And that's how it starts. Like for anybody at home that'd be listening, they'd be like, some of that, like, you have friends that like you call them stupid or something like that just for like trying something, and you're like, that will never work. That's also how we kind of felt like this might not work, but we're just going to put 100% into it and we'll figure it out. And that's exactly what happens. Sometimes the pieces just fall in there. And so I would encourage people to just do something. If you like knitting, if you like basketball and you want to manage, if you want to, give me some other jobs. If you want to be,
if you want a sales job, give me a call.
Sales job, give me a call. If you want to start your own garbage company, just do it.
Yeah.
Go do it even on the smallest thing and just do it. And do it like you're going to be big, with that idea that you are going to make it and it's going to be legitimate and respected and it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And because we did not know what we were doing.
At all.
Like,
I thought I knew
you
way
thought you
more.
knew.
Yeah.
And I thought I could. Turns out, maybe 50% of everything. We found out so much stuff over the years. I know that we always joke about, that you've been in the game for 20 plus years. And 28. I didn't want to date you, but
Man.
28 years. And we'd laugh and call each other, if not once a week, once every other week, and go, have you ever heard of this happening before?
It's crazy.
Whether a customer dies or their house catches on fire or
they
just move and just don't ever call us, and like whatever, like weird stuff. You ever had this happen? Like never. It's never happened. And we've done 1,700 jobs. I can't imagine how many jobs you've had. Maybe 2,000 before this, and we still just laugh like we run into something new every single day.
Yep. It's insane, but it's what keeps it fun.
It does keep it fun.
You learn something new every day.
What's your favorite part about this business in general, not just Perfect Steel? What's your favorite part about this business?
Man, there's just so I would say honestly my favorite thing is bringing somebody in that has absolutely no experience at all. High school dropouts, or no college education, maybe only flip burgers their whole entire life, and teaching them something that they can actually make a huge difference for their family, for their lives, and make it better for them. I mean, we've witnessed a lot of people that we've hired here.
We talk about almost every podcast.
Yeah.
We talk about we change people's lives.
Crazy.
I mean, insane. Like, because we are employee focused.
Yep.
So we'll never be a Fortune 500 company probably, because we invest so much into our employees. Anything that we make. I mean, we've talked about Christmas parties and buying cars and houses and all sorts of stuff for them. And like, you take someone that maybe worked at a car lot, for $40,000 a year or something like that, or they flip burgers, or they're waiting tables, and they come here and they make $100,000+ a year,
right?
And they're so appreciative, and they change their lives. They get married, they have kids, they have houses, and we feel partly responsible for that, and that makes us feel good.
Yeah. And we've got one here right now. He's been with us a little over a year now. And, like, I think he thanks us daily.
Come on, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't named, but.
That's okay. We can name our own employees. It's
Okay.
just fine. We can name our own employees. As long as we're like, that fat guy? No. It's Chris. No, we're going to.
I mean, I think he was in the insurance game.
He was in the insurance game.
Made $15,000
a year.
for a year.
A year he worked insurance. $15,000. And he worked hard. I mean, hard worker here.
He knocked at doors every day.
Hard worker here. So I can only imagine when he was a beast in the insurance game. Only paid him out $15,000. And this is not a knock on insurance. If you want to get insurance on, live your dream.
Not for $15,000 a year.
Boy. Man,
Holy crap.
you'd really have to love it to make.
And now he's
15K.
going on vacations all the time.
He's going on vacations. He goes.
He's happy.
He's happy. He can do stuff. He doesn't have to worry about rent. His girlfriend at the time was paying all of the rent.
Yep.
You know, if he had a car, he had a very crap car. And
Now he's driving a
Mazda or something like that.
2021.
Yeah, Mazda or something like that. Some fuel efficient thing.
Yep.
And
Did
he's
a
just generally
bathroom
happier.
remodel.
He did twice with you 75 hard.
Yeah.
So he lost a bunch of weight.
I need to do 75 hard again.
I wish I'd talk you back into it.
know.
It's hard. We can talk about 75 hard if you want.
Andy, I'm here for you.
Andy Frisella, if you come on the podcast, you can make all his dreams come true. We're 3 podcasts in trying to get the big level guys to come in here and be on here.
He'll do it.
It'll happen.
I'll close him.
If you buy his supplements or his literature, maybe he'll come in there. Do you want to talk about that and how you kind of had a culture? I talk about my culture and what I expect from my roofers and my employees that are based here, but I really don't have a lot to do with your employees. What are some of the things that you do to keep the culture fresh and exciting or get the buy-in, that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, honestly, you taught me a lot with that. I mean, I was not really a hands-on guy every day with them, prior to Perfect Steel Solutions. It was either do the job or get on down the road, And now that I've been spending time with reps here, I can even see a change in myself a little bit, You got to be involved with them every day, take them out to meals and things like that, or take them to go wreck side-by-sides and all that.
Yeah,
good
you
stuff.
took them up to the Badlands and all ran side-by-sides.
Worst idea ever.
Probably had 5 of them, destroyed 3 of them.
I think I was the only one that didn't wreck.
Yeah, maybe 4.
Yeah.
We burned up a motor and destroyed 3 of them. So
Yeah, it was bad. It was all bad.
2 people in the hospital.
Yes. There was
Maybe-
2 people in the hospital.
Maybe when you decide to take employees on a adventure, maybe make it safe. Read the crowd. If they're adrenaline junkies and stuff, maybe off-roading in the dunes and the mud, probably not a great idea because you're going to push the envelope, and that's what happened that day.
I had a great time.
You did fine.
Yeah.
Didn't wreck?
No.
You were
I
by
was-
yourself?
I was
You
going.
had your own thing?
I was going. Yeah.
But and then you did the 75 hard with your employees?
I did, and that was the second time I did it, actually. The first time I was real successful at it. Second time, I had good results, not as good as the first time.
Why don't you explain what
but-
75 hard is
It's
and why you did it, I guess?
I did 75 hard because I knew I needed a change in myself. Because it's not, he'll preach that too. It's Andy will. It's not a diet, It changes a lot of aspects in your life. 75 hard, the breakdown is 2 workouts a day, one inside or one outside. They can both be outside, but at least one of them has to be outside, no matter what the elements are. For
1 hour apiece.
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah, you got to drink a gallon of water a day. Read, and that's the crazy thing. Read 10 pages a day. And I hated reading. When I got into like day 30, I found myself reading 20, 30, 40 pages a day, And you got to be self-help books, self-improvement books, things like that. Drink a gallon of water a day. Take a picture every day. And I think more than anything, it's just the accountability of doing something every day that's better than yourself. And you really start feeling that swing about 45 days in. Now, the second time when I experienced it with other people, I thought it was even better because we were pushing each other. We decided to do it in the winter time in Indiana. It was freezing rain, snowing every day, but we were out there sending selfies of each other, walking through the snow and stuff like that. We met up a couple times together, and I live 2 hours away, so we would meet up, go out, do outside hikes and stuff like that. So it really brought us together. The ones that did it brought us together.
Yeah, I thought it was real positive.
Yeah.
And then I think it gave you some kind of regimen. You always think, I don't have time to do any of this stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, that's all you do is pretty much that and work.
Yeah.
And you realize, boy, you waste a lot of time.
We waste a lot of time.
We waste a lot of time until you do something like that. Because I did. I was very unsuccessful because I went on a couple hunting trips and things like that. But it was nice. You have to do it with a buddy, I think. People that do 75 hard by themselves, cheers to you. You are G. But I found that I could never even, I think I made it to like day 40, maybe, something in there. But without accountability buddy, like just someone to be there and be like, you going to get your reading in tonight?
Yeah.
Did you drink where are you on your gallon of water to this? I'm like, dude, let's go. We're competitive people by nature. I think
very competitive.
That's a point that salespeople get maybe a bad rap of being competitive, but that's you need that.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a successful sales rep, you got to hate being at the bottom of the totem pole. You got to hate it.
It's the worst thing in the world.
It's got to destroy you mentally when you're at the bottom.
You got to hate being a second.
You can be a okay sales rep and not be in a competition, but if you want to be a top level rep, you must be competitive.
Yeah.
Because you're the only one that can drive you.
100%.
And when you're doing the 75 hard, you're like, no, dude, I'm not going to fail before you fail. I'm going to stay on this.
You are actually the reason why I did it the first time.
Because I said you couldn't.
Yeah, and I was like...
It's like, dude, you're not going to do that?
Okay.
You're not going to do all that?
And I lost 57 pounds first time.
Did you really lose that much?
Yeah, dude.
I'm only down 18 pounds right now.
Full 75 days.
Yeah, you did a full... You almost made it to the round 2.
I
did it for a little bit.
I did phase 1 afterwards, and then phase 2 I think is the one I kept failing because that cold shower. Can't do it.
Yeah. There's phases to that. There's like 2 or 3 phases after 75 hard that you can do if you graduate from 75 hard 75 days in a row without missing. And then there's phase 1, 2,
and 3.
There's 3.
Yep.
Okay. And each one of those give you a little bit more stuff to do. But
it ends up being a live hard because it's a full calendar year, and you end on the day you started.
Oh.
So if you start January 1, you're going to end on January 1.
I never made it that far.
It's pretty cool if you can do it. Not yet.
Not yet.
I will.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, like that self-discipline's so huge.
You're a better person overall.
You told me that a bunch. Like, I'm better to my wife. I'm better to the kids. I'm better to, that because you feel better because you got that pump in.
Right.
I tell people, we work, me and one of the sales reps, Zach, on the last podcast, we work out every day at 6 a.m. every day.
Crazy.
Monday through Friday. And like, we feel so good afterwards most of the time. Leg day sucks. But other than that, we feel good. We have a pump in, especially if I'm getting a full night's rest at 9 o'clock and then coming in and here and working out. There's no better feeling. Like, I'm on top of it. I cleaned my area up today. I'm on my desk. I got a new table up there. I organized. I mopped. I did all. I was like, usually, either I make someone do it, or I just leave it. I live in filth. But today I was like, I slept for 14 hours. And I got up, full head of steam, came, worked out hard, super hard, and then I was like, let's go kill this day. And we had a full day, and I think that's really, when you maintain a sales life, it's a really good thing to maintain positivity. I think so there's hard stuff to sales, and I think I've talked a lot about with Zach in the last podcast. Is like, what's the hardest part of being a sales rep in this industry? What's the hardest part, in your opinion?
It's all a mental game. You have to be mentally strong. In order to be mentally strong, you got to have all cylinders hitting. You can't be lacking in anything because, I'm guilty of it. I found myself not falling prey to a lot of things when I am working out every day, when I am eating healthy every day, when I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing. But when you start not doing those things, it's easy to start eliminating everything, and then your attitude just goes down with it. And everything sucks, and the next thing you know, your paychecks are reflecting and everything else. So staying positive and staying focused is the hardest thing in this industry, period.
So you're saying you would draw a line from mental health to paychecks? That would be a direct...
100%.
Explain that.
I mean, you see it. We witness it now even, when people are not in their game and they miss a check, and then they miss 2 checks, and then they miss 3 checks. Luckily, I don't think we've really had anybody miss 3 checks, but you start missing a check or 2, you start blaming everybody but yourself. The leads suck, the manager's terrible, the company's trying to screw me over, and all those things. And then it's not true. All the leads are the same. The same leads that you made $10,000, $15,000 on last month are the same leads you're getting today, But your thinking changed, whatever it was.
Top to bottom, from manager to
100%.
employee. I think that it's a huge part of it.
I mean, how many days do you and I get in?
We have a
matches?
special... being that I have... at bare minimum 3 best friends that work here. Best friends. I don't know if everyone considers me their best friend here that I think they're my best friends.
You're my only friend.
But we are a very special relationship. And we struggle a lot with, you forget that I will never do anything bad to you, not only because I'm a decent business owner, but then also that we're best friends and things like that. And that stems from maybe the self-confidence, the getting the workouts in, the things piling up at home, things piling up at work, and then, you kind of explode. I mean, I think that's worth talking about, because I think that all people struggle in all their jobs with maintaining the drive 100% of the time, especially salespeople, because it's hard. When you're in sales, so much of it is dictated on you. So much of it. Instead of, if you're at a lawyer's office and you don't get any good cases that you can make a lot of money on or do something, I mean, that could be just the season, or no one's slipping and falling, or if you are a truck driver and they're giving you no new routes, and you can't get anything. But sales, if you're in a decent company and you're just not closing, or you're not going out there and getting your own business, that's so heavily your own problem if you're the sales reps.
Correct.
And what do you do when one of your employees are going through those slumps and you see that happening? What do?
You got to get in the car with them. You got to spend time with them, talk to them daily. And that's where you actually find out that it's all in their head, Usually you find out something's going on at home, whatever it is. Or they're having relationship problems, or just anything.
It's usually not directly based on work, is what you're saying?
I would say work gets blamed, and I would also say that 99% of the time it's not work's fault. You can look at people, like for Zach, for example. I'll just use him as an example. He's one positive dude.
Hard to get down.
Hard. I could call and yell at him, and he still goes out and sells that day. Not yell. I talk firmly, don't yell.
I think that when Zach's rare.
Very rare.
Maybe Ian's rare.
Ian's got his own niche. Yeah, but he is rare.
We don't dictate pace.
No.
With those two.
But looking at them side by side, they're nothing alike.
Yeah, I would argue with you. It's funny they bring this up. I would argue none of the reps that we run are the same person twice over.
No.
And I think that's the hard part of when I go to hire people to be part of our company and join our family, is that when I sit across from someone that's trying to be here and be coming into our group and coming into our family, which we protect pretty hard,
yes,
I find it so hard to be like, this is the kind of guy, because I don't know what kind of guy I'm looking for.
Right.
they got to win my heart, you know?
Right.
And all those guys are so different. We have nerds like Pokemon Go and things like that. We got dudes that just are muscled heads and just love working out.
Yeah.
We got family people that will sacrifice everything for one more day to go to the zoo.
Yep.
You know, we got people that play video games, and if they're not working, they're playing video games. We got adventure people that will just go take vacations as much as possible and go either with their spouse or with their girlfriends or friends and just go on vacation. We got people that love motorcycles and will just go, if they're not working and they don't have anything to do, that they're on their motorcycle. That just gives them that peace.
I bought a special helmet just so I could be on my motorcycle.
Well, you're always special in everything. But like I would say, there's no salesperson twice over at our company.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing.
No, and what's really weird is a lot of them don't even have any similarities at all. Other than
I would
they're
say
good salespeople.
Type A is definitely more common, but I wouldn't say it's the rule.
No.
I mean, I can think of 2 people on our team that are Type B.
100%.
I could think of 2 people. I mean, you got some people that could be either way. But Type A is not even the rule. So if you think that you wouldn't be cut up with sales because that you can't be boisterous and the life of the party and that Type A person takes control and does all that stuff, I don't think that is the end-all be-all of being a good sales rep.
No. Knowing how you're going to help that person and being able to show that person sitting across from you how you're going to help them is the most important part. And people can tell when you're being genuine or not. You know, so if you took some of our sales guys that aren't Type A personality people and tried to make them do that, they would fail miserably.
Yeah, they fail. And we've tried to do that before.
Yeah, but we let them be and do their thing, and they know the product inside and out, and they know how to communicate it to the customer.
I think they represent our company well.
Very well.
If that's a common thread, none of them put us in a bad light.
No.
If me or you, they're interchangeable. If me and you are sitting there, or one of them are sitting there, it's pretty much interchangeable how they feel about it.
Yep.
You know, and I think that was when we talked about Zach was like very passionate about the company that we work for and how we present ourselves and the general acumen that we possess, putting a lot of roofs on houses and put a lot of windows in houses. We do that by having a good company story, but having faith that is the actual truth, and that's how we run. That's how we run shit.
And we do exactly what we say we're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, that was the downside. That's what made me want to make the change so bad, was because I think the last 2 years of my job prior was just to cut costs, and screw the customer over. You know, I mean, I couldn't take it no more.
It was what you were bred to.
Right.
Like, that's what they wanted.
Right.
Profit over anything.
But what's crazy is you can give someone a great product at a fair price and still make a good living and be able to sleep at night.
I knew
you know?
that this could make money and we could do it the right way.
Right.
The talent was there.
Yep.
The management was the fault. You know, the owner at that point.
It was the only.
It was pretty much the owner.
Because it was just him and I. We ran everything.
Yeah. And I think that was the biggest part is like, I saw how much money you could crank out of that thing. And I go, man, you might not be able to have a black card, and you might not be able to have houses in different area codes, and you might not be able to have big boats and things like that, but you could make a decent living.
Good living.
And do everything that we said we were going to do.
Right.
And so that's what we set out to do. We're just going, let's go set the bar super high. Let's use the best screws.
Yep.
We're talking about metal roofing at this point. Let's use the best screws. Let's actually use the underlay that we say that we're going to use.
Right.
Which we didn't at the last company. And let's use the best metal with the highest rating that we can possibly get our hands on. And then...
Bro, we went 3.5 hours away to get this metal.
Yeah, it was not close.
No.
It was not close.
I mean, we spent a lot of money on just delivery and such.
Yeah, it was no short of, hundreds of dollars just to get it there.
But we knew it was the best product on the market.
And we were doing,
period.
when you do 300 jobs in a year, I mean, the $200 at least adds up.
And then what's crazy is after we did it, and it made such an impression, how other companies are trying to mimic it now.
Yeah, and I find that the biggest form of flattery is, is copy, and I think that's great. I hope that we have, if you're a competitor in the Indiana market and you would love to come on the podcast, I think this is a great time to interject and just be like, come on, we welcome it. Like, we won't debate, we won't do any of that stuff. I'm sure you have good points. I'm sure I can learn something from you. But generally we saw the bad things in the market.
Right.
And we knew the false nature of doing a bunch of bad things and where that would end you up. And we just gave it the best try that we could and worked out of doing everything exactly how the customer thinks it's going to go and then exceeding their expectations when we can.
Well, the proof's in the reviews.
Yeah, I mean, we're highly review. I mean, you can buy reviews, of course. Everybody knows you can buy reviews, but having the actual customers, and if you go on our website, like I said, we're sponsored by Perfect Steel Solutions, and if you go on our website, perfectsteelsolutions.com, you can go down to a project map it, and it's near the bottom of the page, and you can see how many houses we've done. I mean, We're creeping on. I think we have 1,400 on there logged now, but we've done 1,750 or so jobs. And you can see the houses, you can see pictures of the houses that we've done, and then you can see where they were located at, and then you can see where the reviews were tied to it.
Right.
So that person with that color roof and this time got it done, and this is what they thought about the whole process, which I think is hugely being transparent. And we can talk about that.
Well, you go to other competitors, even the Better Business Bureau site, you don't see a bunch of reviews on there.
Yeah.
You know,
and we keep the bad ones on there too. If we get bad ones, we keep them on there.
we got one.
You can pay the Better Business Bureau off.
You can to get those removed.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. There's a way to do that, and I don't do it.
No.
Because I think it adds legitimacy. Like, some people have bad experiences.
Right.
It happens. You can't do 2,000 roofs and
everything be perfect.
and everyone be happy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, we've dated
pretty close though.
We've dated a few women in our life. Most of them are unhappy. You know, so like, you can't please everyone. You're not everyone's cup of tea. We're definitely not the lowest priced roofing company out there. You know, and at times we're not the get it installed in 30 days company. I mean, I know when we go into wintertime, we're 130, 150 jobs deep.
It was crazy last year.
And, you know, we can't install in 3 months, or maybe something happens, COVID happens, and it gets pushed up super far. So people have bad experiences. I think that's a normal thing. But the reviews do speak volumes, and I think that we do rely on those to even help us sell more jobs and get people to trust us because the reviews are so good.
Right.
We put a lot of effort into those.
Before we'd hide them. Like, at the other companies I was at, we never talked about those pages, you know.
Yeah, why
Don't
would
go
you?
to Better Business Bureau. Why would you do that? You know, that's silly.
That's those people. Only,
you don't trust me?
Only people that leave reviews only leave bad reviews. You know, we were told that. We're like, you know, hey, I mean, rarely if we do a good job. What's the saying? If you do a good job, you might tell one person. If you do a bad job, they'll tell 10.
Yeah.
You know. So
something
I mean, that's
like
what
that.
we were told to say that anyway. And it is what it is. But we've been successful in being wholly transparent. I think I want to get into that a little bit with you, is being completely transparent.
Ooh, where's this going?
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of people that are employees don't get a general idea of the business plan and then how we want the future to go, how we want the day-to-day operations to go, and all that. They keep it kind of semi-secret. Where we're going to be at in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, what we want to see on a daily basis, what we're trying to accomplish when we enforce some rules or regulations and things like that. I think it's been hugely beneficial, and we learned that at our last company, is like, let's just be, if they ask us a question, let's just give them the honest and fair answer.
Sure.
You know, I know there was a lot of times where we'd be like, we'll get back to you. And I heard, you know, we're working on it or something like that. Where if they ask us a question, you know, you go to the direct source and you find out, either you call the customer, call the office, blah, 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 and find out exactly what's going on instead of it's being handled, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think I was so jaded by that it kind of freaked me out when you were so transparent with everybody, to be honest with you. You know,
well, you don't give yourself enough
We
credit.
can't talk about that kind of stuff with these guys. You know, you're going to mess up their minds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that when we set our prices, now we're not the highest price in the neighborhood. I will say
No.
that. Not even close.
Especially not for the quality. And I'm not just saying that.
Everyone says that. Everyone says that.
Yeah,
we
but-
do. We do have that, but then it doesn't. I don't think customers in general, you're never going to go to a point and be like, we have subpar, mediocre quality for a really low price. No one says that. We have really good quality for a really fair price, is what everyone says. We know we have quality and things like that. We can prove it
Yeah.
since we make it here ourselves.
Right.
And we welcome customers to come by
Yep.
and see our 30,000 square foot factory here, located here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Plug. But a lot of people,
We don't advertise, though.
But we don't advertise. I talked about that in our last podcast as well, of like why we don't advertise and why we put the money in the hands of the canvassers and marketers that go out and find us the jobs that actually need roofing and replacing those jobs.
Right.
So, in your tenure of being a part of this company, we've seen some different times together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you want to. You're looking at me like, what are you going to say now?
Where are we going?
But we started off as business partners.
Yep.
True or false?
True.
And then we're not now,
No.
and we're still best friends. True or false?
Some days.
Fair enough. Let's talk about a little about that and how life can kind of go a different way, but still work out. Let's talk about what happened 3 years ago or so.
Yeah. Well, no, because I've been yeah, maybe it was
Maybe
3
3 years ago.
I don't know.
Give or take half a year, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about like what happened, what where you were at in your life, what you were feeling, and what led you to kind of a decision like that?
To walk away from it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you didn't walk away.
I mean,
We're here, but like,
yeah.
what
Why do
made
I
you
always look at the
part
camera when you
ways?
look at the camera?
Should.
I don't know.
It's
I
a
don't
good
like
look.
it. It's weird.
It's a good look. People love it. They love the camera looks. But can you tell me, like, when you were in that thing, what you were feeling, what your body was telling you, what your mind was telling you, where you were at in life?
Yeah.
Because you even moved area codes.
Yeah.
And you made
Hours away.
You made out. Tell me about it in your own words.
I don't really know how to explain it. I honestly thought
we'll work through it.
I thought at one point like I was just done with this industry altogether.
Yeah.
And I don't know what really sparked it other than I knew I needed some time alone type thing, even though because I went very part-time for 2 years.
2 years.
Yep.
A year and a half. Year, really. And then
Solid year.
a solid year. I'll give you a solid year, but then you really started to come back and do some stuff.
Yeah. I went a lot of places in that time too.
You lived
On the road.
life.
Yeah. It felt great.
But tell me, like, because I think a lot of people, even if you're an owner, you got to do what feels best at any
Yeah.
given time. Like,
Hey,
if I thought, in my perspective, if I thought that I wasn't the person to lead Perfect Steel in the next 10 years, I would be looking for help or someone else to do it. I mean, because I love this company so much.
Right.
That if I ever found the person that would be like, this dude loves it way more than me and can take us places, then I would do it. But, like, what was going on in your mind when we're working a lot,
Right.
and you're wearing all the hats and things like that, and then you come to a point where you're like, maybe ownership isn't for me, or I want to do some stuff. What was going through your head at that time?
I honestly
Because
think
I mean, not many people do this.
A lot of it was, to be honest,
Yeah.
our visions were a little different, and I wasn't going to stop you from your vision because I knew, it sounds terrible to say it, but with
No.
or without you, I was going to make it.
100%.
You know.
Believe it to this day.
And I honestly didn't want all this.
Yeah, we started that right after.
Yeah. My idea was you, me, and one other guy, an office person. We'd sell just enough to make, a decent living, which you can do if you keep it super skinny.
You don't have to be 10 million and 70 people deep.
No, not at all. And I mean, I think I was just so drained, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going down this road again. You know, like, because I mean, dude, truthfully, I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here,
No,
but I've made a lot of people millionaires.
You have.
A lot of people millionaires. And I was just tired, you know? And I knew I wasn't going to abandon you.
You didn't?
And I just knew that I could make enough money being extremely part-time. Well, I was working maybe twice a week.
During the first year?
Maybe. You know? And it was so awesome. I went so many trips.
I was so happy for you.
Yeah.
You weren't in
Thank you.
Indiana.
Huh?
You weren't in Indiana.
No.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, no. Hell, I think I traveled the whole or the whole country. I mean, shit. I went everywhere. I was gone every weekend for
You
sure.
got a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
And then gone.
Gone.
So maybe a little bit overwhelmed with the whole day-to-day grind, not seeing the crazy results that maybe we had our vision set on at the time when we started to what it is now. And then needing to go experience some stuff and put this on hold and recenter maybe?
Was it midlife crisis?
No.
It wasn't?
I think maybe when you became a born-again Christian. I think that maybe that was the thing. We can get into that.
That was definitely a midlife crisis.
Maybe that was midlife crisis in a good way, but like maybe that was midlife crisis. But you didn't go buy a sports car or nothing like that. You drove a motorcycle.
I went and bought a big old Harley, dude.
It was the Harley.
It was dope.
Still, no, you got rid of that and got even a doper
Well,
Harley.
I blew that one up a couple times.
Blew that one
remember?
up. That one, but they bought that one back because it blew up so
Yeah.
many times. So
The 107.
you semi cashed out and went on a 1 year sabbatical,
Yeah.
more or less. Still trickled in some, made some extra money. Never left at any point in time. And then
I think we still talked every day.
well, when you weren't going hard in the paint, I mean, literally traveling. I mean, you traveled, bro.
Yeah.
You lived life.
Yeah.
You saw some things that people don't get to see until they're very old. Until, like, you know, I mean, it's not everybody's same game. I try to explain to some of the people, why doesn't that guy want more? Why does that guy that is one of our roofers, why does he just buy all the video games and buy all the Pokemon cards and never goes on vacation, never takes his kids anywhere? That's not what he wants. I want him to go on vacations. I want him to drive an Escalade. I want him to do all those things that I think are important or fulfilling for my employees. And that's not for everybody. That's not what they want.
Right.
Some people crave freedom to do their own thing completely, whether it's build Legos or go on crazy vacations to, I mean, Daigle's just went to
Not Iceland.
the Netherlands or Iceland or something to go see the Northern Lights. Greenland?
Yeah, they didn't bring me back nothing either, man.
I thought they were going to give you the beads so you could make
I want
your...
the beads for the beard.
But like, I get so caught up in that sometimes because I see some people make great money and they don't do anything with it that I think that they should be doing and show the evolution of their being in the workplace. And then I think that I try to take you and be like, we're going to be office people and we're going to solve problems all day and we're going to grind 7 days a week for a long, long time, and one day we'll have a big house. And you're like, nah.
I want the big house now, dude.
I want the big house now, and I want complete freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
I say I want everything, and I don't want to do much for it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a salesman mentality sometimes too.
It's because it's possible.
It's possible. If you have talent. If you have talent. If you don't have talent, you got to work harder.
Imagine if I was a clean-cut, handsome guy. I'd
You
be
are.
filthy rich.
You are. You get your haircut
Holy
all the
shit.
time. So you went on adventures,
Yeah.
and then what happened?
I honestly missed the daily. The grind. I hate saying it this way, but the thrill to hunt. You know, I loved seeing guys do it every day. I loved being part of it. I love saying, you know, I made that kid. You know, shit, man, I can look at you and say I made that kid.
100%.
Honestly,
I'll never say anything different.
and it's cool, you know, and kind of like, you know, we were both welders, right?
Yep.
And at the end of the day, we fabricated stuff. We got to see the end result, right? And that was the best part. You know, you sure you were welding and grinding all day, sweating your ass off, everything else, and then you go home, come back, and then finally at the end of it, when it was completely built, you're like, man, that's awesome. I built that. You know, it's the same thing for me with reps.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know, even our office people. To see the growth of some of our office people.
I literally said that in the first episode where
Really?
I'm like getting Sierra for $10, $12 an hour and see where she's at.
And she drove me nuts.
Now, where she runs all of
Everything.
the books. She runs all of the office people and pretty much runs us.
Definitely
Essentially. Organizes us at the very least.
100%.
And that's cool to see that growth. Now she's got one kid, one on the way, big house,
Yep.
you know.
Great family.
Great family.
Solid
know.
people. You don't. I mean, anything she says, you don't have to
But
question.
we feel like we did that for her. Maybe could have made it on her own. Maybe could have done something else. But this is what she chose to do. She put her faith in us, and then we took her to the top.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that does feel good.
It's awesome.
So you missed that. You came back, flirted with being a sales rep for a while, still liking the freedoms. You kind of eased back. You tiptoed back into it.
Very.
You
very
tiptoed
slowly.
back into it. 1 day a week.
I think the last year I went
2.
to like 4 days a week. I would only work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Like the last couple of weeks before you and I had our conversation.
Yeah, and then, you know, you liked the fact of running the show. And we do kind of run things here in certain fashions to where, like, each different sector is kind of their own business. That's the way I like to think of it anyway. I know I have final say, and sometimes it is a dictatorship. But most of the time, whether it's Mari's roofing crew or Jimmy's canvassing crew or your sales team or Sierra stuff, generally let you guys do whatever it is that you think is right at the time. Unless it interferes with core values, I really let it run.
Right.
And it's been pretty successful like that. And I think that it goes back from when you get the history lesson of, like, how did Lincoln win the war? I don't know if you know this.
No, dude. Come on.
You do? Yeah.
No.
No?
Nah.
So, like, the Confederacy was very micromanaged. It was very micromanaged. Every battle plan, every next thought, every political move, everything was done, run up the ladder. They made a decision, ran it down the ladder, and they couldn't make moves as quickly. And eventually the Union won because Lincoln knew that he hired the right people and let the generals figure it out, knowing full well that he was not a battle master. You know, he could not win a war making all the decisions. He hired the people that knew war and knew how to go win war and go let them do that for him. And I think that I run it like a lot like that because, yeah, I might have the good top level stuff, but I don't know how to put on a metal roof as well as Mari does.
Right.
I don't know how to sell to the customers and help them out the way you do. And I don't know how to market and campaign and go find fresh leads every day like Jimmy does. And I have no business running a front office full of girls that, you know, generally are well organized and on time and want something to do every hour of the day. And I just don't work like that. I just handle fires, and that's what I'm good at. And one fire, the next fire, the next fire. I go project to project to project, and I get a lot of stuff done. And then as soon as we're done, I'm done. I don't need any more stuff. And I think that's what I try to do with this is have you guys run your own little sub companies within the company.
Right.
At least that's how you think that's generally.
That's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. I know when I make a mistake, though. I usually hear it from Sierra, not you.
You don't make mistakes.
Huh?
You're infallible. You don't make mistakes.
I mean, that's true, too, but...
What are some of the things that you run into that you would like to educate the general populace? What do you think that you want them to know if they watch this podcast? Past customers, current customers, future customers. What are some things that you would like to set straight in the metal roofing, windows, soft fascia gutters, eventually solar, hopefully? What are some things that you want to set straight in any one of those things that, like, maybe there's a miscommunication out there, maybe there's false information, something that you believe that you run into and you're like, that's just not true?
You talking about, like, product?
Could be product, could be service, could be types of companies, could be anything. I want to let it be like when you go and they don't buy from us, and there's a reason for that. What is the biggest thing? Like, they just don't believe me. I wish that I could tell them that this just isn't true, and do this research, and you would understand why this is way better.
I think a lot of it is people think. I mean, I'm talking product right now, though.
You can talk product.
You know, that's the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. Metal's not metal. You know, they get an estimate from XYZ, and we're $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 more than XYZ. It's not just because we're trying to make more money off of them. You know, you look into the product, you look into the types of metal that they're using, the gauge, the paint system, the screws, the underlay, the whole 9 yards. There's a reason why people are at a price that they're at, right? And I think a lot of people just buy into the fact that, oh, it's a metal roof, it'll last forever, you know? And that's not true. I mean, think about where were we? Am I allowed to say towns?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was with another sales rep in Noblesville, and him and I had sold a roof, and you had to go out there for some reason.
Was it the paint thing?
Yeah, no, not with. No. Actually, with us, it was. That's funny. It was both paint things. The guy thought it was the wrong color.
Right.
But then you looked next door, and do you remember that blue roof that you sold?
Yeah, and it was a gray roof.
Was it?
It was like a charcoal roof.
Is that what the original color was?
Yes.
Okay.
And then it was like.
It was so disgusting.
So bad.
So bad. And that was with the other company.
That was with the other company. Yeah. I sold a roof.
And
I sold a roof for the other company on a guy's garage. It was a big garage, maybe 2-car garage, 4 cars deep or something. It was a long garage, and charged him top dollar.
Oh,
and he did it because he liked me, and I told him everything, you know, and I believed it what I was saying. I didn't know any better. I didn't do my own research, and you should definitely do your own research if you're a sales rep. Always do your own research. I don't care if you're selling vacuums or stuff at Best Buy or anything. Do your research, because that's really important. If you're going to believe in the product, go test it against the competition. I mean, that's huge. I wish I would have done that. That's one of my biggest mistakes that I haven't done is go to other things that are in your same industry. I can't really think of a lot of different stuff. If you sell smoothies, go to different smoothie places and see what their smoothies are like.
Yeah.
You know, maybe yours, you can't say that we're the best smoothies in town. You know, maybe they're doing something way different than your best ice cream. Maybe they're not the best ice cream. Don't just take face value of what the managers or other employees or owners say.
Sure.
And that was a huge problem with what I did. And I try to fix that here, you know. You can see it, touch it, feel it for here, which helps. But like, yeah, you do your own research, and just because you have a product and they tell you it's the best, you don't have to believe that. You know, you can do your own stuff. So like when he's saying that a lot of the products aren't the same, they're not. You know, you can get seconds from China as far as metal's concerned. You can get inferior paints. You can get inferior gauges. You can get, and it stems from inferior craftsmanship. Of how it was installed. You can have the best metal in the world. You get our metal and install it poorly, and it will fail.
Be terrible.
It'll be fail. You can get, and it comes to the details. That was in the details for me. The underlay, the caulk, the screws, the things that aren't just the metal. That is hugely important when you decide to go with a metal roof. Is that, and if you just accept that the company is saying that they have the thing, make them show you.
Right.
You know, we have no problem being transparent like that. In a house, we have people who have screws. We have people who have underlay. We have carry metal samples with us.
Yep.
And sometimes a few different colors and color sheets, so you can choose every single color. And we won't sell inferior products. That's one thing about us is we won't even, if you want a cost-effective option, like you want a cheap shingle because you're going to sell this house or do whatever, and you're just trying to get what's the cheapest, get immigrant workers, have people that don't know what they're doing, just slap a roof on me for the least amount. We don't do it.
Right.
You get the one product that we offer.
That part I love.
One product.
Yep.
We have 2 window choices, there's a
composite.
There's a composite,
Or vinyl.
and there's a vinyl. Composite's going to be better. Vinyl will do the job. But other than that, like, gutters are the same, soffit's the same, fish is the same, everything's the same, and we won't sell you a less. We won't put 3-inch gutters on your house. We do 6-inch deep gutters. That's what you should have for a metal roof, and we don't stray from that. We don't care if you'll pay us extra money to do something, but we won't do it. Nope. We just won't do it because we know it works. 1,700 roofs, and I'd say we get maybe 2 or 3, customers that we have, like, we're having problems a year. We do that many, and only that many have leaks. That's insane.
Right.
That's crazy. Imagine you cranked out 1,700 cars or 1,700 ovens or 1,700. You know what? You're going to have some amount that just, what do you usually say? That they're not built by angels in heaven, so they're not going to be absolutely perfect. You say that?
I say we bang nails for a living. We don't have halos over our heads.
Right.
We're going to make some mistakes.
We're going to make some mistakes. We always rectify it, all that
Right.
stuff, but that's huge when you're talking about metal roofing in general, is that it's just product is not product. If you just purely take everything else out of it, product is not just product.
Right.
Because they're cheaper underlays. They're
Yeah.
cheaper screws. They're cheaper caulk. There's cheaper metal. There is. And we make sure that we wouldn't put anything out there that would shine us in a bad light ever.
And I think that's why, like, I can go in so confidently into a home and say, hey, we have the best, and people believe it because it's in you. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fake that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm that confident. We have the best product, period.
All you guys have made metal over here on this machine over
Yeah.
here. All you
Yeah.
guys have seen it come out.
Yep.
And that's exactly what goes on the house.
Yep.
And you guys have seen that I import the underlay from the UK. You can see that the shipping labels say coming to the USA. You can do the research on it. You
Yep.
know the screws. You can do your research on the company. We deliver it in the boxes they come in to the customer's house.
Right.
They're not unlabeled things that are showing up. We don't bring it the day of.
Right.
That kind of stuff. Like, it's the same thing of what we tell you in a house that's going to happen. It's exactly what happens.
Yep. But that's what I'm saying. We can be so confident because of that.
Yeah.
People believe it because it's true.
So your biggest thing is product is not product. Is there anything else that you would want to clear the air about in metal roofing?
Man, I can't. I'm not good.
Let me do this. Like,
Yeah.
We have a lot that, because we sell so much and we go to so many people's houses, like the price we can't hold.
Sure.
Let's talk about a little bit about, like, why we don't always hold prices in houses for certain periods of time.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Because
why? I want the people at home to know why we can't hold that price.
Metal prices change on the monthly?
Weekly.
I was gonna say weekly, but I wasn't 100% positive, so I didn't want to say it.
Weekly.
And it's crazy. We don't inflate the price to be able to drop it later on.
No.
I hate that more than anything. There's people out there that will gouge you. Sure, there's a ton of room to move then. So because we keep our salespeople to a standard that they're not allowed to sell, more and try to get more money or anything else like that. Here's what it is. Everybody's the same across the board. You can't hold that. I mean, you just can't, because how? If we were charging, let's just say the average house was $20,000 to do. Okay. Yeah, we could hold that price for 3 or 4 months or whatever if we were charging them $25,000.
Correct.
We knew we know
Most
our money would
likely
be
we'd
there.
Be able to do that.
Yeah. But because we do sell at a competitive price at a now time, we can't do it.
Guys, we're talking about, on a week-to-week basis, gas prices change. We deliver all of our own materials.
Yep.
We ship all the other materials in that we don't make in-house. We ship them in from somewhere. That's a guess.
Yep.
That's that you have to pay a shipping company to do that. You have metal prices from these giant corporations that we only work with, SDI, that's based out of Butler, Indiana. But they're getting their metal on a certain schedule, and they're dictated by the market. Yep. When we started this, we were getting it for a certain price, and then during COVID, it 3x'd.
Look at plywood.
Talk about plywood.
Holy
That's
smokes.
a great example. When you talk about not holding a price,
What, it tripled overnight?
yeah. What is the highest they got up to per board?
79?
Yeah, like it's crazy. When boards usually cost
25.
like 20 to 25.
So I guess it didn't triple, but still, I mean, overnight. I mean, it wasn't a gradual 25, 30, 35, 40. It just went.
No, and how would you feel if you bought a roof and then a week later it dropped in half,
Oof.
or it went up and we come at you for more money,
Yep.
or oh, sorry, we're not changing the price because we sold you at this, and then it's actually way cheaper because all the plywood. It's just insane.
Right.
So like we do market research, you guys get the prices, and we go out and sell for those prices, and that's it.
Yeah.
We make it pretty simple, but I think a lot of people get.
Well, there's people out there that, I mean, there's really no cap. Salespeople can sell whatever they want.
Yeah.
At other companies.
And they don't care
At all.
So I think that when we see that they won't hold a estimate for so long, I think that's one of the things that I like, that I can take home and be like, no, it's true. It's absolutely true. We can't hold an estimate for a certain period of time.
Right.
Like if you want it to be good in 6 months, probably not. I'm going to say probably not. Most of the time it's going to be probably not good in 6 months.
And the incentives that are out there are true. When our sales reps give them incentive to buy now or whatnot, it's because we are getting things at a different price.
Yeah. I mean, we just right now, I can go look over here and we have 3 back coils.
Right.
2 charcoal, couple reds, couple greens. We're heavy on black right now. So we can sell. I might have bought black at a really decent price, at a certain point, and stocked up, spent $250,000 on steel. And we're taking care of that right now because it's going to go up or it's going to go down. And I want to get rid of those coils, buy more coils. And we're able to do that because we talk every day.
Right.
And I think that's really important when people get the best price, today's best price. That's what we give them.
Yep. I mean, what was that? Alamo white?
Some of the colors we carry so many.
We sat
colors.
on that for what, 7 years? We've
There's
only been
colors
in
that don't
business
move.
for almost 6.
There's colors that don't move.
We'll give it away.
And then just the other day, 70 squares.
Yeah.
Alamo white. 70
That's right.
squares.
That was white.
So it's
Wasn't it?
another buy a $10,000 to $15,000 coil to do one job. It's crazy. And I'll
make call and change it to
see
black.
that, anything. I'll change it to black right now. Change it to black right now. What other thoughts do you have? You ask me some questions. You want to put me on the spot?
Oh man, I wish you would have prepped me for that earlier. I could have thought some good stuff. I don't know.
How do we
man.
make our relationship work? Because I think it's mostly poisonous most of the time when you have sort of a family atmosphere. Maybe you hire your family, you hire your best friends, or do other stuff. How do we make it work being best friends inside of a very volatile, high stress, we're moving?
Look, we deal with that right now every day regardless. I mean, that was always one of my biggest fears because we do have a lot of family that work here. We do have a lot of best friends that work here, and
We have wives that work here.
And husbands.
Husbands that work here.
Yeah. It gets scary sometimes because you think, man, if you do the wrong thing to that person and they walk, you're not losing one. You're probably losing two, And then you got some of the people that work here that aren't really, I don't want to say they're not, I don't know how to word it exactly. So I'm just going to be like, you got certain people that aren't as close as others. So then they think, oh, there's favoritism going on. Like,
You mean people that stay to themselves and there's cliques?
Yeah. I mean, because you got people that aren't social butterflies. Me.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm here actually doing this thing right now.
It's fine. You're spreading your wings.
But
so
that's a tough thing.
Yeah. So tell me, how do you make it work for you? Someone that knows the fallacies of hiring best friends, hiring family. I mean, we'll put this out there. You manage
works here.
your brother.
I'm the baby too.
And you're the baby.
Yeah.
You're managing your older brother.
Yeah.
That's
Hate
a dynamic that a lot of people don't have to deal with, or may not have to deal with.
And
how do you make it work with that? How do you set boundaries? How do you work out problems differently? Is it the same way? Talk about it.
To add to that, even you got the stress of him making it. Because he moved here from the UP, to take a shot at doing this. And so you got that fear of him possibly failing. Like, are you going to let him down? Things like that. But I don't treat anybody different. I don't care if it is my brother. I don't care if it's my best friend. I tend to tell you exactly how I feel.
So a take it or leave it attitude.
It is, but at the same time, I think with me personally, I've matured a little bit over the last 5 years, where I can talk about it a little bit and work things out. But you do have to have that fine line, of business is business, friendships are friendships. I even see it with Sierra and her husband. She does a great job at it, actually. I think I do a pretty good job at it with Shannon. And then even with you, you got one of your best friends is your marketing manager. Your other best friend is one of my sales reps. You could easily come and say, hey, hold on, you're not doing this. That's my buddy. But I think we both do a really good job at keeping it business, friendships, and you gotta do that.
Yeah, no, I think that's super important, that if they are your friends, and that's the way I look at it, and that's why I can let things go so easily, that you can treat them like every other employee when you need to, because that they're gonna be friends or family if they are, after whatever happens.
If they're true.
Yep. If they're true. And I think that's where I have been successful, is that, like, most of my best friends are the same people all the time, and I can really rely on that. Yeah. Because some people may not get the chemistry that maybe me and you have, or the chemistry that maybe me and Jimmy have, or the chemistry that me and Zach have. And I can just as easily punish them, or, if we have to suspend them, or if we have to do something crazy, I could just easily do that, knowing that afterwards they're still going to be my friend.
Right.
And they're still going to be, if it's true, right, then it will always be true.
Right.
And they have to know that we have their best interest at heart. I mean, we're all motivated by putting food on the table, but at the end of the day, we want to make it work for everybody. That's generally the idea, is that everyone's more successful because they're a part of this organization other than other organizations.
It's so funny because, like, when you and I, sometimes we have our disagreements.
Yeah, monthly.
And I am still, like, even though you've never done anything, I still think constantly, like, I wonder if the gas card's going to work. I wonder if this lunch is going to go through. Like, is he going to cut me my check this week now because I pissed him off?
You've been jaded, though, too.
Oh,
that
man.
comes from Lynn, not from me, but from...
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
People.
I'm so jaded from my past. That's how they did it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did. I was at an airport once, and he was like, we had one of our things at other company, had one of our things, and card was off. He turned it off because he was pissed at me.
Stuck.
I'm like, but that shows,
character.
Did you really have true
character,
true friendships there? Because him and I were
tight.
Super tight. Super tight.
It is one of the things that I struggle with, because we do a lot for our employees. We overstep in a lot on normal relationships as far as that stuff. I mean, we just did a gender reveal for one of our employees.
That was so cool.
And we literally just came from it. Zach, last 2 podcasts ago, was having a baby, where we had a helicopter fly in and sprinkle the pink powder over the skies. And
that was so awesome.
That could be easily misconstrued as favoritism or things like that. But
Well, it's already true. You just showed it to us.
What?
He was your very first podcast, and then Jimmy was your second one. I'm your third one. You just ranked us.
I did rank you. I did. Maybe if you lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we could do it more. Maybe this will be your last one because I made you third.
Yeah, it might be.
Who knows? Maybe we'll put this as the first one. I don't know. I can do some crazy
We can't
stuff.
now because of that piece just now.
No,
No,
I
we
can
gotta
cut
keep it.
all that stuff out and be
Nah.
like, "This is episode 1."
Let's
you
not
know,
edit it.
I'll edit the crap out of this episode if I want to.
Can you get a better angle, though? You know,
You want me to slim 5 pounds? Is
Yeah.
what the camera adds or whatever.
how much can
So,
you take off?
I mean, I'd cut you right off the head.
Yeah, that's
you
cool.
know,
All right.
and we'll do that.
And then when I come back for my 75 hard reveal, then we'll put it all out.
Anything else that you think that you want to add?
Huh. I count on you to lead me a little bit here.
I mean, I think that's why I started this podcast, is because I thought, well, I can't care. I'm like, there's people like Ben Shapiro and stuff that could sit in front of a camera for an hour and a little computer and prompts that could be like, and this is what's happening. Can you believe that this community is doing this and blah, blah, blah is doing this, and, you know, and make it entertaining. And so I can't do that. What I could do is lead kind of the conversations and get perspectives and draw out people's personalities a little bit, and then have it be mildly entertaining or at least informative.
We need to figure out a way to do 4 people.
We could. We could. It's just. It's
You know
just.
how much fun it would be if we did the 1, 2, 3, and then all of us?
If we did like those would be specials,
Oof.
maybe.
Wow.
And we could do like a couple specials a year, where we got maybe the managing team or whoever else that wanted to be a part of it, and do it. It wouldn't be that super hard. I mean, it's been done before. Luckily, we have this big facility and stuff, and the table does have 4 sides, so it's just a camera, you know, camera and some more microphones.
Let's do it.
Can do that.
That'd be fun. Zach, Jimmy, you, and me. And a bottle.
Well, we don't condone drinking. We're saying there
Never.
might be iced tea, there might be bourbon. That's up for you to decide. You know,
Don't judge.
don't judge us for what we do. Speaking of, what do you call that when you have like a vice? You know, like cigars are my vice.
Yeah.
You recently, well, not that recently, but for a minute though, you've given up vaping. You were a cigarette smoker for a time,
Oh, yeah.
and somehow you transferred that into vaping at a certain point.
Yeah, because I couldn't smoke in the house. You know, I never smoked in the house. I hate the way it smells and everything about it.
Yeah.
So I had to go outside all the time. And then I seen these people vaping, and I was like, it smells good too. Can't tell me to
tastes
get out of
good.
the house.
I've never done it, so
Oh, it's delicious. You got to try it at least once.
good.
So, but yeah.
And then now, vape,
It was
smoke.
really weird. I got
free.
sick back right before Christmas. So it's been 6 months now.
Probably COVID.
Huh?
Probably COVID.
Probably.
Probably.
I wasn't in your house. I put it down because I couldn't vape. That's what it was. Like, I was
Too congested
sick.
or whatever.
Sick. You know me, man. How long you know? I've never called in sick. I'll call in for vacations, but I won't ever call in and say, "Hey, man, I'm too sick to work." And I literally,
You've called me on the side of the road before and throwing up. You're like, think I could still make it. Just give me a moment to clear it. I feel way better now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sick at home or I'm gonna be sick at work. You know, I'm gonna get paid for it. You know, and I literally was down for like 2 or 3 days. I almost didn't make it to the Christmas party. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And anyways, I went and picked it up and hit it, and it was disgusting. I just sat it down and said, I'm done with it.
Still sitting at home, and did you get rid of it or what?
I think Megan's using it now. I
Just
think.
just done.
Don't quote me
Done
on
with
it.
it.
But yeah.
That's pretty cool. I wish that I could give up. Cigars is my last thing. I smoked cigarettes when I was a welder back in the day, and then I think when we first started this, I may have smoked a few cigarettes,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I just
How many times did
got
we
off of
sit
that.
outside and cry thinking, oh, what did we do?
It was nervous back in the day.
It was so funny because we were running appointments together then, and you would make me pull over in
Yeah.
the truck
Yeah.
to smoke.
Fiending for a smoke.
Just driving down the road, hey, pull
let's
over.
do this. Let's finish up with a couple of our favorite customer stories,
Okay.
like the weird ones.
The weird ones.
The weird ones. The ones that people don't generally think that you would run into. owning a metal roofing company or managing a sales force and stuff like that, what's some of the weird ones that we can talk about that are PG-13 or under?
Oh, I don't have none then.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out some of the stuff that happens that would be kind of funny.
Man.
Put you on the spot.
I've got some weird ones, but you said PG-13 or less, huh?
Like, I know that when I was, and while you think of another one, that I've been to customers' houses before, and they've offered me drugs.
Oh, yeah.
They've offered me drugs, and I'm like, no thanks. They're like, do you want your drugs to go? And I was like, no drugs. Nothing. Not knowing that I'm not a cool guy. I don't do anything. I'm so straight edge besides maybe some whiskey and bourbon and cigars. Like,
maybe.
You know, like, I don't do that. And
You
still
haven't
being
even
like,
ever smoked weed in your whole entire life, have you?
maybe in high school or something like that, but like I
Shame on you.
don't remember. Maybe I was blackout in college or something like, I don't know, but not on purpose anyway. But like, they offered me drugs and I'm like, no thank you. So your metal roof is going to be here on this date, blah blah, we'll get you installed. And they're like, cool, do you mind if we do drugs? I'm like, do drugs, I just gotta drive home.
Can you sign first?
That's the reason I'm not gonna do hard drugs with you. Sorry.
It's so funny because Noah and I ran a lead once together, and I'm not even kidding. It couldn't have been any better. It comes up on my memories every year. And it was a younger kid, and Noah was talking to him, and I looked down, and I knew, because, you know, we've done the slides so many times, you could do them without a computer in front of you, right? And I looked down to the right, and here's an ashtray that's shaped like a marijuana leaf, and it has a roach in it, right? So I start the Snapchat recording of Noah talking to this kid about how we don't let our employees do any kinds of drugs or anything else like that. I'm over, and then I go down on the ashtray, and I was like, I looked back, I said, I don't think he really cares about that. You know, like, no. He's all in.
He's down. What about when me and you ran a lead from some people that lived, let's say, in a modular boxy house? And let's just say
I sat on a box fan.
Yeah, you did sit on a box fan.
So
I was brave enough to sit on the furniture.
You did? Oof.
We were very itchy.
I looked down the whole entire time to make sure roaches didn't climb in my shoes.
They were there.
No, they
you
were
could
there.
See them.
Yeah, 100% there.
But they wanted to go spend $8,000-$9,000 on windows.
Yeah.
Bad life decisions.
Real bad.
And
Did we sell it though?
Oh yeah, they wanted them. Credit kill.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Credit kill, but you know, everyone gets a shot. You know, you have any hoarder ones that?
There's so many of those. So many of those.
Tell the best one, maybe.
Those are usually the best customers, though.
They always buy.
Yeah, and they're so nice.
They're very sweet.
Always.
You know, whether it's a
you just don't
habitual thing that you bring stuff home, or it's a mental health crisis or something, they're very sweet.
I don't know what it is.
They're very sweet people, but I mean, to the walls, the ceilings, you're climbing over stuff to get in their house.
Yeah. But they're usually just really genuine people.
The last hoarder house that I'd been in, and I won't tell you what town I was in just in case you're watching this episode, but I took a 360 video because I didn't think anyone was going to believe me that it was that bad. They had stuff piled in such a fashion that I was like, how are things being held up? Like, the Lord is holding all this junk up on the walls. Like, if it would collapse, we would all die in here. But they had the big screen TV. They had Xboxes. They had all that stuff. Priorities. The whole house, very smelly. Trash. Literally, couldn't see the carpets. Dog poop everywhere.
Ugh.
I'm painting you a picture. And they bought a roof. Tried to. Anyway, again, financed. And their only thing that they wanted was they wanted a panel of every single color on their roof.
remember this.
So not red, white, and blue or something patriotic, which I could kind of get behind or something like that. Or
Weren't
maybe,
they hoping for a discount, though, or something?
I don't think so. I think they really just wanted to be funky. And they wanted it to be all 15 colors if we could. And that's what they wanted.
That was nuts. My favorite thing was when Chris was in sales, he always had bathroom breaks with Chris.
But he was Snapchat being in the customer's bathroom?
And those were hilarious, man, because some of the bathrooms, the only ones he did was disgusting ones, but it seemed like it was every day he had one.
Yeah, we're not coming into your house and pointing out all your fallacies and shortcomings and stuff like that.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not. We're not doing that.
Edit that part, take it out.
We'll edit that part. Yeah, we've had some different. We have.
I'm trying to think of funny ones, man. But
crazy cat, like just so many cats. You know, we had one.
Yeah.
Noah had one that was like 70 cats in a house.
What about the
time.
one that had a pig as a pet?
There was one that we just did that was a pig. They had a rescue.
Pig rescue.
Pig rescue.
Okay.
And they would. So like most people have it where the fence is built off the house. Like that's pretty normal. But like if you raise livestock, generally like pasture, like gated system off the thing. This was like not that. And the whole yard was just a mud pit with the pigs. We installed their roof and they're great customers and stuff like that, but they had 30 plus pigs coming right up to the screen door, right up on the back porch, right on the deck, right on whatever, right to the house. They were like rooting. It was just mud.
We did that one that was used to be a milking parlor.
Did we do one in the milking parlor?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Up close to the Michigan line there. And they had cows that would walk right up to now their kitchen window.
Did not know that one.
You don't remember that?
Don't remember that one.
That was like first year in or so.
Let's talk about the crazy things we've done to get deals done.
Like Novas?
We could start there. Yesterday, we had a rep call in and was like, this guy's going through some difficult times with maybe a health thing. He has some money, wants our roofing system. The only other thing of value that he has that he would like to get rid of because he has health issues and can't use it anymore was a 1970 Nova SS.
With a 454.
With a 454 Corvette engine in it.
I'm in.
And so I generally just did some quick market research and said, we'll take that in lieu of, the money. And that's what we did.
But we fixed his problem.
We're going to fix his problem. It's going to go on here the next couple of weeks. By the time this podcast comes out, that roof will already be done. I'll be restoring a Nova probably at this point. And then we had another one where, and I don't want to get into what the final form of this one was, but we had people in Fort Wayne that wanted our roof, but they had priorities, and that's a lot of times we'll like overcome their last thing to make it make sense for them. Like we know that it can't be cut and dry all the time. Mm-hmm. If it works your monthly budget and it's the overall, it's a price we agree on and all that other good stuff, and it works out for them. Sometimes there's other stuff that comes in there, and they're like, "Well, I got to take my daughter to college, so I can't get a roof at this point, or I got to sell this certain thing at certain points, so this thing's got whatever." And so they wanted to get rid. There's two times this happened. There's one that the people just want to get rid of a shuttle bus they had.
Yeah, I was so mad about that.
A shuttle bus, and so. The rep knew that like we do stuff from time to time, and they said, so you need to sell the shuttle bus before you do the roof? And they're like, yeah, that's our one thing. We'll do it all, but if it takes me a couple bucks, we're thinking like maybe they'll use the money for the roof. And I was like, how much do you think it's worth? Well, the dealership would only give me $500. I'll give you $1,000. Give you $1,000 for your shuttle bus. I'll figure it out, and we bought a shuttle bus.
The funny thing is the rep with the shuttle bus was also the same rep with the Nova.
Yeah, he knows what I look for. He's got me to make deals work. And so we bought a shuttle bus.
And he sold cars for a lot.
There was another couple that wasn't this rep. There's another older couple that just wanted to get rid of the van. For some reason, taking up too much room in their driveway or whatever it was, they had to get rid of this van. And, we have a lot of people that need cars here. And so I've been known from time to time to partake in the car market and give people cars that I find really good deals on. And, they're like, we have this Chrysler minivan, gold. Like, we want to get rid of it, but we want to do the roof. And I think, again, they're probably going to use the money. No, they didn't have plenty of money. They just want to get rid of this van. And so I bought a van that was like, how much do you want for it? Well, I want $1,000 for it. Okay, I'll give you $3,000. I'll find a use for it in the company, and I'll just buy it for me. I go in there and give them cash and buy it and use it for it. And I give it away to a marketer or a canvasser. That's been the ones that I find the most fun when we get weird stuff in.
Wasn't there someone that even couldn't do it until they paid off their lawnmower?
Yeah, we've taken a lawnmower in lieu of payments and stuff. We'll be cool if you if you have stuff of value that just doesn't move. Maybe on a normal market. I don't know if I'm opening myself up to people just blowing us up about.
I was to say we're gonna have a whole
I have this
lot
house
full of.
I have this houseboat that no one wants, but I really need a roof.
I'll take the houseboat.
Something, like we'll do it. We're normal. We're a normal company. That we're not a normal company, but we're a company that thinks outside the box. So like a normal company that would just see a balance sheet and profit and loss, we'll see opportunities and we'll see a way to be moldable to get jobs done.
I like how you mentioned a houseboat because you got a bass boat, didn't you?
Yeah, that was not a part of a roof deal.
Oh, was it?
That was not a part of a roof deal.
Oh,
Funny
my bad.
enough,
My bad. I thought that was.
And this is good. I went to the installers, the window we have a bunch of window installers and we have a whole bunch of roofing installers in house.
Sure.
And I went, how can I make your lives better? I want to make it better. How do I do that? And I said, I'll invest. Some people are like, why do demolition derby? Well, I'll sponsor your car. That's easy. I want to go golfing. Cool. I'll get a membership at a discounted rate and we'll go. I want to do bowling. I was like, well, I'm not doing that. Bowling is stupid. I hate it. So I'm not going to do that one. And then a lot of them said fishing. They want to go fishing, but they lack the ability to go purchase a really nice boat. They're in skiffs, they're in John boats, they're in that kind of stuff, and they really want to be in bass tournaments and things like that. And so I was like, well, I'll just buy a company boat, put on the company insurance, and let people go out and take the boat. Well, about 2 years ago previously, we'd sold a customer that wanted to get rid of the boat. We were not in the market for a boat. I didn't buy a boat, but he wanted to get rid of it. We hit that customer up years later, and we're like, are you still trying to get rid of that boat? And he was like, absolutely. And so we're like, whatever you want for it. And we just bought the boat. It had like 3 hours on it or something like that. And we just bought it. It wasn't part of a roof deal at all. It was just.
I was thinking it was part of a roof deal.
We sold him a roof. We definitely sold him a roof or windows or something around the.
He just so happened to be selling one, and we ended up buying it.
He wasn't. He, like, a lot of people aren't, fluent in the. I don't know. Maybe taking it to somewhere, a dealership, and maybe they don't trust those people, or they become attached to things, or whatever. For whatever reason, they don't sell it and they want to get rid of it. Like, that's fine. We'll find a way to make it work if it's in our wheelhouse. And that's why I'm down to do that sort of things. And I think there's always been the fun customers to do stuff with. They're always the best people. When I go pick up the Nova, it'll be a story that we tell them. I ended up on a podcast, and it'll be something fun. I buy stuff all the time, and it's I either give it away or we have fun with it. I think I want to tell you about our future marketing plans as far as vehicles go. I watched a Whistling Diesel YouTube episode. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's the guy who has a big monster truck and he has all this property where he does crazy stuff with vehicles. And he'll buy a Ferrari and do some crazy stuff with it and crush it.
Is this the guy just like destroys them?
He just destroys a lot of them. He'll buy like squatted trucks and then like destroy them and, hit him with the excavator or something. Yep. He recently bought a brand new Japanese pickup truck.
Japanese pickup truck.
They make these pickup trucks brand new, fully loaded, $8,000.
We need to buy some Japanese pickup trucks.
Oh, don't worry. I'm way ahead of you. Already bought one.
Cool.
Already bought one. They only top speed 30 miles an hour.
Oh.
They're limited. So they're not DOT. They're more or less smaller than a golf cart. I don't know what they use them for in Japan.
Oh, little people.
But I bought one that's electric, so we're going green. That's cool. It has a dump bed, LED lights, Bluetooth, stereo, air conditioning, the whole nine. And I thought we could do some cool stuff with marketing and, like, as far as our roofing panels are concerned, we could run them over and show how strong they are, or we can make a structure and like blow through it or something like that with competitors' panels. Just do general like fun stuff with it. Maybe go pick up plywood with it and deliver it to a customer, like act like we're going to at least or something. I thought that would be kind of fun to do that sort of stuff. I don't think I've told you about any of that stuff, but it'll be here by the end of the month.
At 30 miles an hour top speed, is that fully loaded or empty?
Doesn't matter. It's 30 miles an hour.
Fully loaded too?
Electric's 100% torque.
I mean, I got to know these things. How long would it take me to get to Indy in that? About 5 hours.
5-6 hours probably.
I think
very dangerous though. Very dangerous. But
I'm in.
You know, we have a wrap company, so we'll wrap it. But I figured around here it'd be great to like we water the grass here or we take care of stuff. But then on the other side, we'll destroy it more or less with doing cool marketing stuff. I think that would be fun to maybe put our panels around it in a certain fashion and then set fire to around it and then show that our panels are reflective to the heat. Shoot it with flamethrowers and fireworks and stuff and like look how it's deflecting all the heat. And then we'll take like another like truck or something like for like $1,000 and like burn it with all our competitors' panels. See how they're not reflecting the heat?
We need to do this. Or you're doing it.
I mean, I don't have it yet, but she paid for it.
$8,000.
There's some shipping cost in there to get it from. About $8,000 in shipping. So, $8,000 for the truck, and there's some shipping in there.
So it's $20,000.
They got to put it together in Utah, ship it here. There's some things. There's some things, but generally it'll be good for marketing. We do different marketing stuff all the time, but we're not the marketing geniuses.
No.
We're the sales and management thing. So I appreciate you coming in and talking with us. I hope you're on. Did you like doing the podcast?
Yeah, I'm still not 100% comfortable though.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just weird, man.
Having the cameras there?
Yeah, and these big lights and stuff.
It's fancy.
I do like the table, though.
I wish that was my
Table's
idea.
nice.
It's not.
It's
It's
not?
Luke behind the scenes doing all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So we appreciate you listening to Laugh Your Way to the Top. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop us a line, comment on the TikTok or the Instagram or YouTube or wherever you see this. Reach out to us. We'll answer questions about anything that we can answer, generally about metal roofing, windows, soft fascia gutters, or marketing, sales, entrepreneurship, any of those things. We would like more topics that you guys would like to hear. And as we go forward, it would be fun to elaborate on certain things that you guys find interesting. So you guys have a great rest of the day.
Please remain seated.